Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Farms. Check it out. I got this 10-foot by 4-foot like storage slash overhang. It's kind of cool. We saw this thing on the Amazon site. We were looking for something maybe to store firewood, maybe to store just random assorted stuff. And this one kind of just fit the bill because some of it's fully enclosed, lockable, and some of it is just, cover. So I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and assemble this. I'm not going to film every step of the way with this though, because that would just take hours to film. But I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera. We'll get everything unboxed, take a look at the manual, and then step by step, I'll run you through how you go about assembling this thing. Let's do it. All right, well, as you can see, we've got everything out of the box, and there's some pieces, but most of them should go together pretty simply. So the very first step in this is to assemble our frame for the enclosed area. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and it's got some triangles to square up your edges so that you start off with a nice rectangle, so they don't get it more of a parallelogram or something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and assemble that. And then one thing I'm gonna do with this, since we're not exactly positive its final location, I'm going to mount it onto a piece of plywood. That way we can move it to where we need it to be. All right, let's do it. And already the pile is getting smaller. Here is our foundation. And I've gone ahead and cut a 3/4 piece of pressure treated plywood to use as a base. It's gonna do a couple things for me. It's gonna give me a nice flat surface to do the rest of my building on, and it's also going to give it extra protection. So whatever I have in here, instead of it just being on the ground or the grass or the gravel, it will be kind of sealed in. You could caulk the bottom of it, and you would probably keep the rodents from getting in there, at least for a good while. All right, we're already on to starting to raise the walls of our enclosed area, so let's get on to that now. All right, this is moving along really nicely. There's not a lot to this. So the next step is, of course, to put these panels up on the sides here, and then you kind of frame it all in with just a pretty basic looking little setup here, right? Nicely squared off so everything fits right. If you're having trouble with lining up holes, check the squareness. Measure diagonally crisscross against this and make sure that you have this thing centered or squared up. You also do want to make sure that it's level, or you're going to have some issues for sure. All right, already the large pile is getting smaller. This doesn't look like it's going to be a difficult task at all. Next up, we're going to be attaching the rest of the back and side panels to it and tying that all in. And then for me, it's probably be about lunchtime, and I'll pick it up afterwards. We'll install the door, and then we'll probably be installing those roof panels and support legs next. Let's do it. Yeah, so this is coming along real easy. So 2 small panels here on the sides, 3 along the back, and as you can see, still have to put the bolts in right there, right there. So the next step, we'll put those bolts in there, and I believe we're going to be moving on to the roofing portion of this, and then the doors. So far though, this has been a very straightforward assembly. I would say half a day at most to put something like this together, and maybe quicker if you're really putting your effort into it. I'm just taking my time enjoying this. Let's keep going. All right, check it out. Now we are really moving along. So we have all of our side walls. We have our roof angles and panels all in place here. And we have our door trim in place here. So the storage area is really starting to take shape here, and I'll take a look inside here so you can see. Right? And so the next step here, and I'm kind of curious how this works, but they say it works. That I get, like it's a connection there. We're going to be adding our extension on, right? So we'll have one here and one here. The weird part is only one side sticks out, so I'm not sure how that works. It's in the instruction manual. It just shows it being connected, but I'm sure it'll make sense, and of course I will show you what I mean when we get to that point. But that's it. We're going to do that, then come the legs, then comes the roof, and then finally we assemble the door itself. Let's go. Okay, so I don't think I was recording, and that is a shame, but here, let's take a look at our legs here, and we will talk about what we're doing next here. So 2 legs, one's taller than the other. 2 small brackets down here. That is to support it to the ground, or legs peg it to the ground. You've got these little cross pieces here. And then on the back side, a lot of bolts to put it in place. No problem there. The front side, There's just a teeny little L bracket here that kind of goes inside and holds it in place. But what makes this thing rigid is tying it all together. And so next up, we're going to put our roofing in. And there's a bunch of pieces there. This I will actually have to use a ladder for. So I'm going to get my ladder out and I'm going to start. I've already laid a piece up here. I'm going to start across there and we'll move it all the way to the edge. Let's do it. Starting to look like a building now. Let me walk around the back here so you can see what's going on. Nice roof, one side to the other. And that leads us to the next part. We have these pieces here. There's 4 of them, 2 long on the front, 2 long on the back, and on the ends we have little short ones. That's like our rain tray or gutter tray. And then there's some end caps that you screw into the sides there. So let's do that, and then the last step will be to install the door. So far, I am really happy with this. Let's go. All right, well here we are. We've got the trim pieces up now. And these just screw in up top, and then you have one little screw that goes here for an end cap. And I mean, you can see it really ties it in nicely, makes it look professional. I like it. So we're down to the last piece. And that is this door here. I went ahead and assembled this. I had to do this on the floor, and it was just too hard to really film it all. But here's a brief overlook of how it goes together. It's still a one-person job. It's just a lot of nuts and bolts, a lot of little pieces. You have to just pay attention to, how they all interconnect, I should say. So 8 screws to go, and this project is finished. Let me pause the camera, and I'll get this door on, and we'll take a full grand tour. And there it is, my friends. Check it out. We got ourselves a nice covered area. I'm thinking what I want to put in here long term, firewood, stacked firewood right there. And then we have a nice enclosed weatherproof area here, lockable. I mean, we do have a lock here. You can put a deadbolt on that if you wanted to. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's just about right. And you can take a look up on top there, see our roof. And I think the whole thing came out really nice. Dry storage is kind of important, no matter if you're in the city, in the country, or living on a farm like me. I always need a little place to put stuff. And this might just be what you need. That is awesome. Well, I'll leave a link to where you can get one of these. And I'll see you next time, my friends. Take care.